Hey, it's Sparky, Fifer, 1250 AM, The Fan, beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Follow me on Twitter at Sparky Radio. There he is, the man in the middle as we live stream this bad boy on the Odyssey Sports YouTube page. He is Dwight Albrecht. Follow him on Twitter at Dewey300. Go get your ball drilled and worked on over there at the New Berlin Bowl, the Spare Time Pro Shop. That is why we named this show Spare Time Bowling Show years ago. And then our guy, Phil Brylow, a.k.a. $2 Phil, because that's what he carries around, our $2 bills. You can follow him on Twitter at Brew City Bowling. Okay, so we're going to get into the PBA draft. We'll preview, show it, and talk about that coming up. We'll get into the PBA award season. They got the nominees out for that a couple of weeks ago. It's been a while since we've done this show because we had the toy drive and so forth at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. 17th annual toy drive with WSSP and Kiss FM last week. Phil Brylow came out, donated some toys. Really appreciate that. Phil, you saw the semi truck that was out there, the semi trailer that was out there. We filled the damn thing.
Beautiful.
Did over $100,000 in toys and cash for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, which was amazing. Our guardian angels in Oak Creek, Steelwind Industries did 16 shopping carts full of toys when they were there, which was great. Blaine's donated a bunch of toys too, so it was a lot of fun. So appreciate everybody that was a part of the toy drive, and looking forward to next year, 18th year in 2024. Okay, so on my way into work this morning, so when I come into work, I drop off Kay at work where she works, and then I drop off Tatum at the sitter, and then I come to work. And I'm usually here in time to do the show. And in Oak Creek, there's a street called 13th Street, right? And there is a middle school, Oak Creek Middle School, what is it, West, I think it is. And it's right there on 13th Street. So right there in that area, and then across the street from the middle school, they're all houses, right? Because it's a residential neighborhood. And it's, one lane of traffic one way, one lane of traffic the other way. Well, they're doing construction, or We Energies is doing something over there, whatever the case may be. So the one side that was coming towards me from north to south, that side was completely closed off with cones. So you couldn't go that way. So they had construction people with, stop or slow and go signs that they sit there and they turn around, right? Stop, and then you sit there and you wait. The other lane of traffic comes towards you. And once they go, then they go, okay, you can go. And then your lane goes. So I'm the first one up in line, and I'm slowing down. And there's a truck coming at me, a red truck coming at me. And there is a cop behind the red truck. The cop turns his lights on. The person driving the red truck stops right where he turned the lights on in the construction zone. So now we can't go because he's stopped. The people that were supposed to come behind him, they can't go because he stopped. So the construction lady in front of me turns and looks at me and just shakes her head. I was like, yeah, I have no idea. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But wait, it gets better. So I'm sitting there and I go to Kay, I go, well, surely this cop is going to tell him, dude, just pull into the school parking lot and, we'll talk there, right? Nope. Dude gets out of his car and does the entire process with the car stopped in front of him in the construction zone. So we sat there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and waited for whatever the hell he decided to throw his light. He could have, it literally was less than 5 to 10 yards away from the end of it to where he would have pulled over, and then he could have turned his lights on. He turns his lights on in the construction zone, and the dude literally stops immediately, and they do the whole process right there. He wasn't speeding because he was barely moving towards me. So we're thinking either it was tags on the plate, tinted windows, who knows? But the dude drives by. He's like a 50, 60-year-old guy. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, how dumb are you? You are a cop, man. You don't see what's on both sides of you that you should get him out of there so traffic can continue? No, we're just going to stop there and hold up traffic in Oak Creek. I was so pissed off.
You didn't have to get the number on the car, did you? On the cop car?
No, it's so dumb. I could not believe it. I'm like, I know some Oak Creek cops. And that was not anybody I knew, because I would have known that person. I would have got out of my car and said, dude, come on, seriously, move out of here. But I didn't know that guy, so I wasn't going to say anything. Could you believe he did that?
Well, they're making a huge traffic hazard behind you, too, on top of it. I mean,
both ways, nobody could move.
Yeah,
and then there's a side street coming out of a neighborhood. They were backed up with cars. So now they go to release traffic.
What you did.
Right. So they go to release traffic. Now, that was the other thing. The cop lets the car go. So he goes past me. The cop says, I'm going to make a big old Y turn right here before we do anything. He pulls forward. He pulls this way. He backs up. He pulls this way. Then he goes up. Then he goes into the neighborhood. So now they finally release traffic. So the people in the neighborhood, they get released first. The people going north south get released. And then we get released last. And we finally get to go. So that was a 5-minute story, but I'm telling you, I was pissed. Yeah. I've never seen anything that dumb in my life.
That's only supposed to happen, though, on Mondays, not Thursdays.
I don't know, but that was the single dumbest thing I've seen a cop do in my life. That was absolutely remarkable. Okay, let's talk about the PBA draft show coming up. Plus, we'll talk about the PBA awards, too. Maybe make some predictions on those. They put out the nominees on social media a couple weeks ago, so we can get into some of that stuff as well. All right, Phil Brylow, it's a new year for the Elite Bowling League, or whatever the hell they're calling it now. So please do explain for those new people tuning into the Spare Time Bowling Show what the PBA and Tom Clark have in store for us now.
It's an actual league. It's all season long during the PBA season to make your way to Bayside Bowl in Portland. There's going to be 14 head-to-head matches. There's 8 teams now in the PBA league. Unfortunately, now my PBR Milwaukee Pounders replica jersey from H5G is now just a collector's item. Along with the Chicago Breeze, they're folding those 2 teams, and they're basically keeping the other 8 teams. They're only going to be able to keep 2 players per team instead of 3 like they did in past years, and they're going to redraft the entire league on the 13th. They'll be doing
wait. So new captains, new managers, everything is starting over?
No, there's still most of the captains are still the same. One change is Johnny Petraglia is no longer the captain of the manager of the Waco Wonders. It's going to be Parker Bone III. And then for the LAX, it was Andrew Kane. That's no longer the case. It's going to be Jason Belmonte as the manager, and he could be the player manager, just like Norm Duke was for the Dallas Strikers, if he chooses to protect himself. So,
and then the people that were running the show in Milwaukee and Chicago, they just get thrown back into the pool. They don't get an automatic spot with one of these other teams.
Right. Marshall Holman is no longer a manager in the league, and now Jason Couch is with, I'd have to check the team, but Jason Couch is still part of the league as well.
But Rash gets thrown back in then.
Rash gets thrown back in. Everybody that was on the Pounders, everybody was on the Breeze. So for the Pounders, it was Sean Lavery-Spar, Anthony Lavery-Spar, Dick Gallen, AJ Chapman, Sean Rash. They all go back in the draft pool. Ooh. For the Chicago Breeze, it was Dom Barrett, Kevin Williams, Thomas Keiko, Jake Peters, and Tom Smallwood, all back in the pool.
That's nice. That really makes that pool better.
And especially with only being able to have the teams hold 3 players. So if you have the Portland Lumberjacks, you've had that threesome with Kyle Troop, Chris Prather, and Wes Malott for a long time. Which 2 do you hold?
Easy. See you, Wes. Unreal. Yeah. Bye, Wes. Right. I'm going youth.
But he's
I'm not
the franchise.
I don't give a damn. He's old. You have a bad back and everything else. See you later, man. We're moving on. Like, I mean, you know how this works, Dwight. We were just talking about your bad back. Like no.
There's just a time.
There's a time. Right. You age out, man. Like, it kind of is what it is. I mean, Phil, Dwight,
Rash has got a bad back too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
He's had a back issue too.
So did he ever have that surgery, Phil?
Yes, Wes. Yeah. So he's
Rash.
Oh, Rash. No, he hasn't had it yet. I think it's coming up pretty soon.
Okay.
So he's got some. I know he's got some stuff going on. Yeah. So
right.
I'd have to go back and look into social media. I don't think he's had anything major. If he has anything, it hasn't been a lot because he's been busy doing all kinds of clinics and that type of thing. And he's already announcing that he's doing stuff in January. So he hasn't really been slowing down on that end of things.
Okay. It's got to be a nice side hustle for him.
Oh yeah. He said he did like almost 30 this year. I think it was altogether.
That's a lot. And they're all in Illinois for the most part, right?
No, it's all over. He was just out in Arizona and Colorado.
Really?
Oh yeah, he travels all over. They did one in Maine before they had the league in Portland. Oh
nice.
Yeah, he's
good for him.
Over. Yeah, there's a lot of the pros that are starting to do that now with some clinics and that type of thing. So during the off season of the PBA. So
sad to see Marshall Holman not a manager on some other team.
Yeah,
is he gone, or will another team pick him up as a manager?
I don't think. No, the manager.
Put him on TV.
Yeah, he'll be on TV, or I mean, they're bringing the Roth-Holman doubles back on TV as part of the World Series of Bowling, so they'll be back on TV again instead of being a bowl TV only thing. So you know, we'll see Marshall on there, and we'll see Marshall. I hope that Tom Clark brings Marshall out to Portland anyway, just because and
put him on Mark TV. Ross, that's what I just said. Yeah,
Mark Ross, best doubles partner ever, and they were great friends, and the Mark Roth MVP trophy let Marshall hand that over at the end of the league finals in Portland. So yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna get a soda because I'm gonna cough up a lung. Keep talking.
Yeah, I'll keep talking. So another neat part about this league this year is that the rosters are going to 6 players per roster instead of 5.
Okay.
Because with the tie-in every week, there may be some players that might miss a tour stop. They might have something personal going on. They might be injured. So that way the rosters can be prepared. So that sixth player that they're going to have is really going to be crucial, because a lot of these managers, some players might not be good on the week that they're bowling on the cheetah or the wolf, and other players might not be the best you want when they're out there bowling on the shark or the dragon. So the competition at each PBA tour stop for these regular season league matches is on the tour condition that week. So most of the time they're going to come out of the practice session on a Monday or Tuesday and bowl the league matches that night. So like for the first week when they're in North Rock, it's only 33 days till the first day of the PBA league and the first day of the PBA in 2024, everybody. It's better than Christmas for me. Rounds 1 and 2, January 9th in North Rock, and they're going to get all those matches bowled, and it's going to be on the pattern they're using for the PBA Players Championship. So the matchups are all on the PBA website. You can see them already. And there's going to be some matches during the season that will be deferred from the regular bowling time on that Monday or Tuesday, whatever it might be after the practice session. And it's going to be on Fox Sports 1. So the first week that we're going to get that is on for the Players Championship. We'll have a show featuring the PBA League. Then once we get to the U.S. Open in Woodland, there's going to be another show that'll feature a couple of the teams on that show. And all the matches this year for the 14 matches that they're having, whether it's on TV or whether it's at the tournament site, they're all that race to 2 formats. So if it's tied at 1-1, the team captains are going to choose their players so that 9th and 10th frame roll off, and then they have that roll off. And after that, it turns into a single ball roll off. So there's going to be a lot of excitement there. The first round of TV, when they get to Portland, for the 6 teams that make it, there's going to be 2 teams that don't get there. It's not, hey, everybody's in the league and you're going to get a chance to bowl and make money. You could be one of those bottom 2 teams and get squadoosh, get nothing unless you advance to Portland. It's $500,000 in total prizes this year for the PBA League. 100,000 of that's going to the first place team once again.
Right.
So I love it that there's going to be competition every week. Yes, a majority of it, you're going to have a Bowl TV subscription to watch, just like if you would, want to watch qualifying or match play of any PBA event now, be a Bowl TV subscriber and be able to watch all that at your convenience. If you can't watch it live, they always have the archives. And I'm really looking forward to following a season long worth of league action this year. I think that's really going to perk up interest overall in the league. And I think by the time it gets to the TV shows in Portland, it's gonna bump up the casual viewer up a little more to where it's just not like a one-off thing. Like, oh, here's this unique thing again with the PBA League. They've seen these season-long battles all going on during the 2024 PBA League season, and they're going to be invested in a favorite team. It's not like, okay, here's a guy I like or that kind of thing. There's going to be a bit more of a chance for these teams to be invested in, fans to be invested in these teams. Somebody, people from Texas, more people will be invested in the Waco Wonders or the Dallas Strikers. They've moved the Kingpins from New York to New Jersey. Okay, makes sense. There's a lot of bowling going on in New Jersey.
Right.
Bolero's got one of the biggest bowling centers they use. We saw it last year for the PBA Players Championship. With Bolero North Brunswick. It had a historic center when it was Cavalier Lanes, pardon me, back in the day when they had a bunch of U.S. Opens there. Silver Lake, the Adams Splitters are now in Akron. And, of course, Akron, home of the
TOC.
Great center with Riviera with the TOC.
Right.
Motown Muscle, the Bolero LAX. So there's a couple of relocations out there. But it's going to be interesting to see how these managers draft, because they're only going to be able to protect 2 of their favorites they've had, some of them for years now. And then 4 rounds of drafting. So it's going to be interesting to see what, basically, I think it's the Bolero LAX to get the first pick. So is Belmo going to protect himself the first round? Or because they got to protect, or is he going to, he can protect 2 other players and then pick himself. Well, technically he can't, but, I'd try to swing that around the rules if I could. If I was Belmo, why not? Hey, I'll protect these 2 players and I'm going to draft myself. first.
Oh, there's a lot of incentive. Obviously, is the money, the grand prize money, up from last year to this year?
No, it was $100,000 this past year in Portland.
Okay, so talk a little bit more then about the shows then for the PBA league, the qualifying shows. So how are they going to work that? Is it going to be a separate hour or a separate show from the regular shows? How's that going to work?
Yeah, for the weeks that they're not on FS1 with PBA Elite League action, that's simply going to be after the practice session at whatever, at the tournament site. So for Brylow North Rock, it's going to have a majority of their matches are going to be on that first Monday or Tuesday, whatever the practice session is. They'll have the practice session for the Players Championship, and then they'll have the regular tournament the rest of the week.
Right.
But for other weeks that they'll defer a couple of matches like we talked about in Indianapolis. Those matches in Indianapolis are going to be, let me scroll down here. You're going to have, come on, it's here somewhere. I know I got it. Lumberjacks versus the Kingpins and Waco Wonders versus the Motown Muscle.
Okay.
So you got to think with the Ballards, you have Del Ballard and Carolyn Dorn Ballard co-managing the Motown Muscle now. Jason Couch takes over the now New Jersey Kingpins with that move. You got to figure out the Muscle is going to hold on to Tackett and Simonson. So here you got your probably PBA Player of the Year with EJ Tackett. If that doesn't happen, there's something wrong with this sport. And then you got our defending champions with the Waco Wonders and see what they have for their lineup coming back. And, that race to 2 format is always exciting, and I know part of it's because of the TV confines. You're stuck within that time frame for TV. But, that just puts more pressure on to get out there and win right away. And knowing that there's, the best part for me is knowing that there's 2 teams left behind at the end of the season. There's going to be some matches that when you get into that last week that are going to decide whether or not a team can make the finals in Portland or whether they're going home. And I really hope that, they can flex that schedule a little bit. It's already on the website that last week at the Tournament of Champions, it's supposed to be the LAX versus the Lumberjacks and the Adams Splitters versus the High Rollers. But I hope they can flex that. I really hope that Tom Clark can flex schedule that. And all of a sudden, let's say if it's supposed to, let's say the Wonders and the Kingpins are fighting out for that number 6 spot to advance to Portland. Sorry, Adams Splitters and High Rollers. If you're in already, you're bowling earlier in the week. We're saving that Wonders and Kingpins match until TV. And let's show this for fans because that's going to be the added excitement that I think the PBA League has been looking for a while. And now they're finally going to be able to show it with actually having a regular season that matters.
So if I understand correctly, last year it was 10 teams. Now it's going to be 8, but only 6 are going to make it to the actual show in Portland, Maine.
Correct. And with having 6 players on a team instead of 5, there's still going to be 48 PBA bowlers involved in the PBA League. And that could change as well because let's say Sean Rash blows out his back. Okay, right. Well, then you have to pick up a spare player on the tour that, fits you could pick up a hot hand. All of a sudden, let's say Anthony Lavery Spard doesn't get picked up. He didn't have enough points last year. He had some medical issues during the season with some ear problems and some balance problems. And he gutted through it. And he just won the PBA Southwest Invitational this last weekend. Let's say he doesn't get drafted on next Wednesday night. Well, somebody gets hurt. Who are they going to turn to?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, here we go. Let's pick up ALS. We got this guy on the waiver wire. It doesn't say in the article, can they have a waiver wire? If you get a player that's just not producing during PBA League, can you dump them? I think you should be able to do that. If you have a player that just, or if there's an injury, I would assume that that's what it's going to be. If you have an injury, you can drop a player off the roster and then pick up somebody and that player is on injured reserve or whatever. Hopefully it gets a little more detailed getting into the season, but the ability of having rosters that you could take care of somebody that's injured or trade. Let's say you got a guy, you're fighting for a playoff spot. Let's say the Motown Muscle aren't having a good year. Well, would the Ballards be willing to maybe part with something and let Simonson or EJ Tackett go? Is that possible with the rules? I haven't seen the rules on it yet. If trades will be possible, I think it'd be great. Why treat it any different than any other sport? You want to be treated like a high class sport. Trades happen in every sport all the time. Trades happen in professional lacrosse. Why can't trades happen in professional team bowling? So
well, it keeps the excitement going.
Right.
It's storylines. Correct.
So and I just love the fact that it's going. You're going to have basically 4 months to watch this league season develop. Sure, there's some breaks in there, small breaks because it's following the PBA Tour season and everything. And I know Sparky will say, and he's not wrong with, okay, well, hey, we're done at the end of April and we'll see you in September in Portland. There's that big break in there too. But I'm sure the PBA could do some stuff to help promote those teams that are getting to the finals in Portland. They could do special appearances. They could do clinics or, hey, come do, send the team to Waco or, hey, guy, or send them around Houston. Waco's close enough to Houston or San Antonio. Hey, come visit with your, Elias Cup finalists, PBA, Waco Wonders, and have them put on an appearance or clinic or that kind of thing. Sure, they can get a bunch of PBA fans that will come out and be interested in that. So yeah, it's gonna be real interesting to see how this season develops. I don't want to say it's a make or break season for the PBA league, but I think they can really make themselves into a more followable sport as a team unit with this season in teams. Because that's what bowling is. I mean, how many people bowl individual leagues, whether it's just they're bowling as a single? No, they're bowling with 3 other people or 4 other people in their leagues every week. So it's going to make it more relatable to Joe Average that goes to his league and shoots 150 and has a couple of beers. Hey, team bowling, this is fun. Hey, why don't we do Baker format in our league sometime?
Right.
Mix it up, that kind of thing.
Get the idea. Right.
Yeah. Because 30, in my opinion, sometimes 33 weeks of 4 or 5 on a team with the same 3 games. It gets pretty boring by week 24.
Right. You're looking forward to the break.
Here we go again. So did Sparky fall over? Did we?
I think he died.
He's had a rough morning, I tell you. So.
Yeah, between the cop and now the coughing fit.
Yeah,
I think he's finally back.
Okay,
he's still alive.
All right, we're getting. Let's get worried about
been talking about me the whole time, or you actually got to the draft preview?
We actually talked. We pretty much covered the league and what's going on with the format and.
All right, so let's go over a couple of things. I'm sorry, I've been coughing my head off, and me and Phil were talking about this before he came. Phil's home because Phil has been coughing his head off, and I didn't sleep much last night because I've been coughing my head off.
Yeah.
So this is my thing on this PBA league thing. We said it before. I'm going to say it again. I hate having 3 months.
Call it
3 damn months between the league and that, and I want an explanation why this is happening, because I haven't seen it. I read the PBA release thing or whatever they put out there on the Elite League or whatever. I want an explanation because, as I've said before, and I'll say again, is this a Fox mandate that they have to run programming in September, and this is their answer to it? Or is it simply, I don't know, that's all I can think of. Because logically, you can't convince me that a 3-month delay between the time it ends and the championship is a good idea. Yeah. That doesn't, logically, I don't see how common sense comes into play. Unless Fox is mandating you have to have something there. They don't want to create a new event or a new series of events to fill September. Yeah. So they hope the draw of, bowling heaven is enough to pull everybody back. Because realistically, this thing should end. It should be the last event of the schedule. That's what it should be. It should be the very last event, and you go do it to end the season. It should be,
April,
whatever, the Super Bowl of the schedule. That's what it should be. Yeah.
Yeah. The last round of the regular season's the same week of the Tournament of Champions in Akron. Pardon me, Fairlawn, Ohio. I don't want to say Akron. I'll get hate mail on that. Mm-hmm. But Sparky, I was just talking off the air too. I mean, use those 3 months and take these teams that make the finals in Portland and get them out there at places and go meet your Waco Wonders if you're in San Antonio or Waco.
Yes,
or
that's great.
I mean, they should be traveling the hell out of these guys during that 3-month downtime and doing clinics and doing personal appearances. And
I think realistically, well, maybe not realistically, but I think if pie in the sky, if you had a dream type deal, you'd love to see them all get one home setup. Right. Now, again, you're asking them, the PBA and Tom Clark, to find bowling centers that can accommodate the PBA and what they bring to town. and do what they need to have done in order to host one of these things. But to me, that makes a lot of sense to make that work kind of going forward. The problem is the way they have this set up is it's kind of tied to wherever they are for their tournament they already have in play. And then, oh, by the way, since we're here, we're going to do the PBA League stuff instead. It doesn't appear that they can figure out how to make it work without that. But I will say this, going back to what you just said, and I know that streaming sucks from a numbers wise versus what TV brings, right? You're not going to get anywhere close to the numbers and all of that. And I get that. But maybe in the summertime, maybe that's when you take this road on the show tour and you find a house in every city and you tell the house, look, you're not going to be on TV. It's going to be streaming. We'll promote the hell out of it socially. We'll get a couple of TV stations lined up to talk to and so forth to promote it in your market. And those wins still count in the whole deal. And you promote it if people want to watch it, stream or whatever else. But like you said, now these people get to come and root for their own in their house type deal, right? And you can make it a big competition, right? So it can be, and again, I'm the idea guy sometimes, and a lot of times I get laughed at by Clark, but that's okay. I mean, what if you did this? What if you said, okay, from, in July and August or whatever, we're going to travel. There's 8 teams, you said, right? So every weekend, we're going to travel to one of the cities and we're going to have a home center, quote unquote, whatever. Now, whichever home center has the best home crowd, that's the loudest, that cheers the loudest, and is the most into it, that we feel at the end of the day will reward you with X tournament the following year. Like you get Tournament of Champions next year, or you get whatever the following year. And then we bring everybody in, you get a TV event, the whole deal. And then the next summer you do it again. And we see who has the best home crowd. And now there's a nugget being waved saying, hey man, we'd be on TV, the whole deal, if we just show up and show out. I think that could be kind of fun, and it could kind of draw it a little bit.
Well, and I think with just cross promoting, I mean, send the Waco Wonders to Waco or San Antonio or Houston or all the area around there in the off season, and have them bowl 5 of the local guys that get picked at random in a Baker match for some prizes or something like that.
Right.
And just give people a start for that. The one thing, it's great that it's streaming. It's great that if people want to subscribe to Bowl TV, they can subscribe to Bowl TV. I hope the PBA does something outside of the live streaming where they feature it on their YouTube channel, where they feature like a weekly update on the matches for people that can't watch, that aren't going to subscribe or that kind of thing, where the general public gets to see it. If it stays behind that paywall, I think that's could hurt the number of people that follow the league. But if they do something with
live streaming on YouTube,
well, they can't because of the Bowl TV contract. They can't, but they can do a wrap up. Let's say they bowl the shows on Monday. By the time Wednesday rolls around, you could take some Bowl TV footage and you could take somebody that's on site talking to guys after the league session's done and wrap it all together. And here you go. Hey, everybody, here's what happened in the PBA league this week, kind of thing. And
the other thing that you just said,
100 times more people to watch that than you're going to if it stays behind the Bowl TV paywall.
Agreed. Yeah. Paywalls. Yeah. Paywalls hurt anybody, including myself. As a sports talk guy, I'll tell you what I hate. I hate when I'm trying to read a story in Atlanta as the Brewers are getting ready to play the Braves, but the Packers are playing the Falcons. I'm just picking a random city.
Right.
And you have to pay in order to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't want to read your crap every day. I just want to read this one article for the game on Sunday. I don't want to read it just now. And that's the one thing I like about the Journal Sentinel. Like you get 3 or 5 free articles a month or whatever it is. So opposing teams, they can just read their one article and be done, or 2 articles for that week, and you're done. A lot of these, you don't even get 1 or 2 free articles. But I'll go back to what you said. You could go to the bowling house and say, all right, look, this is the deal. We're going to do it Phil's way. And we're going to have the Waco Wonders come in. And what we would like you to do, and we'll provide prizes or whatever the case may be. Yeah. We want you to have your own tournament, maybe 2 or 3 weeks prior to this. Top 5 bowlers that finish in that tournament comprise the team that will bowl the Waco Wonders, in a prime time thing or whatever else when they come in. So now you give them 2 or 3 weeks to practice together if they don't know each other, whatever else. The 5 best from the city that bowls against the Waco Wonders that come in. Now, are there going to be situations where your team's going to get beat? Yep. There's going to be situations where your team's going to get beat. There's no question that's going to happen.
Right.
If the egos of the PBA bowlers can't handle that, then maybe you can't do this. But if they're, well, hey,
Right.
you laugh, Dwight, but everybody's got an ego here, right? And you're on the PBA tour. I'm on TV. You're not. You work in the factory, whatever you do. Like, I do this for a damn living. You beat me one time and not whatever. I'm just saying, like, the egos have to be able to handle this, right? Professional baseball players and football players, NBA players, they ain't doing this crap. There's no way.
Yeah.
But you're not that. You're trying to promote PBA League, get more listeners or more people to watch the events and get more familiarized with the whole deal. But again, people are going to be there and root.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to root for the local All-Stars or are they going to root for their home team? Probably they're going to root for the local All-Stars is my guess. So that kind of works against it where you're going to be the enemy in your own house type deal.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to PBA League time, hey, man, I know these guys, man. I sat at the bar and had a drink with Sean Rash or whatever.
Right.
That's my guy. He lost, but that's still my guy.
Yeah. Right.
You know, that type of stuff, I think that helps because, you know, once you have that personal relationship, Dwight, and if you like the person, you're always going to root for the person.
They do this every Thursday on SRX Racing. If you follow SRX Racing,
that would be the Senior Citizen Tour. Yes, I know what it is. Yes,
but
Tony
they take
Stewart and the likes. Yes,
they take a local driver and they put him up against, you know, the legends, if you want to call it that, and
Seniors.
that local driver usually is the one that wins the race.
And you know, back when I did Final Inspection, my racing show, I said this is exactly what they should have done with the truck series. That truck series should have been Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, and all of those guys 5-10 years ago when they retired. They should have just put them right into a truck, did 10 or 15 truck races a year, and been done with it. Yeah. They didn't listen to me, but guess who did? Tony Stewart. So they create the SRX League, and it's huge. They sell out everywhere they go.
It's ratings
huge.
Phenomenal for being on cable. The ratings
we have tickets for this year.
Yes, I mean it's just
we're going to be there.
It's an amazing deal, and it's a smart deal. That's how they do it. Now, can PBA 50, you know, get to that point at some point? Probably not. Yeah. But I'll tell you this: I don't think it's a bad idea. To have like a Hall of Fame show. And not a tournament to get to the Hall of Fame show. I get to handpick who the hell I want, right? So if Marshall Holman can still bowl, Marshall, you're in. If Johnny can still bowl, and again, physically, that's all going to come down to what I mean. Can they still bowl? Johnny Petraglia, can you still do it? All right, you're in. And you pick your five Hall of Famers, and you put them out there on one TV show. It's not a tournament. Nobody's trying to get to wherever. It's a one-time deal. And put them on TV and let them go. Because I'm telling you, people like my mother that are clicking through and see Marshall Holman throwing a bowling ball is going to stop and boo the hell out of them and root against them the rest of the show. It's going to happen. My Aunt Joyce loves Marshall, so she'll stop and she'll root for him the rest of the show. That's the type of stuff that, you know, always helps. With the celebrity stuff is cool, and you bring in different demographics and all of that stuff too. Sure, I get it. But we start talking about people that are clicking through the channels that are bored on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, and they see somebody they rooted for, you know, when they were younger or whatever else. More than likely, they're going to stop, right? They're going to stop and watch Phil.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see it now. I mean, I saw during that League Bowler National Championship at Bowler Wauwatosa back there.
And that's open right now for registration, by the way.
Yeah, that's open to everybody right now. As of December 2nd, that opened to everybody. So you can get that at PBA.com. They got a big thing right on the homepage there. To get yourself registered. But the number of pros that would come in, especially in that final squad, and the fans that would, I mean, here's some 4-year-old kid just in love with Kyle Troop already. That's not going to change. Kyle Troop will be on the senior tour when he's 60, and that 3-year-old kid is going to be 43, and he's going to still be a Kyle Troop fan.
Again, Guppy could be out there bowling. Right. I mean, that's another one. You could put Guppy out there with Pete Weber and Marshall Holman and Petraglia, and put all of them out there, because now people, again, a lot of people don't know who the hell Guppy Troop is, but it's Kyle Troop's dad, who's a PBA bowler. Put him in some loud clothes, like old school stuff, put him out there, put Kyle, over there on the side or whatever else watching. People are going to root for that dude because it's Kyle Troop's dad, more than it's Guppy Troop, but it's Kyle Troop's dad, and that's why they'll get down with it.
Yeah. And it's just, hopefully this league just brings a few more. It doesn't need, it's not going to be an overnight sensation. Don't get me wrong, but to be able to see that many guys on a show. I mean, they tried doing that last year with the 17 player step players. They just wanted more fit. You want the exposure. You want more people to see who your stars are. When you're only seeing 5 at a time or 4 at a time during a week, it's tough to develop those new faces and turn them into marketable faces.
Sure.
And with the PBA league, they're going to be able to do that this year. And, if Frank Snodgrass is back and he does something funny or falls in a gut or something like that, maybe like what happened with Josh Blanchard a few years ago, all of a sudden doing a TV commercial or that.
Right.
You never know what's going to happen, but there's more opportunities for these faces to get out there and do it. And that's what I'm really looking forward to with the league.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully Nuke does well this year. Because, again, I think that's a dude that can blow up and be one of those guys if he wants to be, if he's cool with it. Because he had a flash in the pan type deal on TV this year. And Phil even said it. He walked into the bowling alley in Milwaukee and everybody's coming up and talking to him.
Yeah.
And he just showed up. It wasn't like he's been doing it for 5 years on TV and had a chance. People literally saw him once or twice on TV this year and fell in love with him.
Yeah. And we were I covered a regional outside of Peoria a couple of weeks back. And it was a Midwest regional. Eugene led the PBA 50 division of the tournament. Kevin led the PBA division of the tournament.
That's awesome.
So I'm like thinking to myself, this is going to be the best finish ever if they both win. So many people are going to watch this, and then they both just let it get away from them. So,
they were out at Sussex Bowl, I believe, Saturday or over the weekend.
I live streamed the H5G team shootout this past Saturday. Yeah, and Kevin was there. Chris Prather was there. There were a lot of decent names, several PBA names, a lot of them at the regional level, but a couple of PBA stars like Prather and not Eugene were there. So
how was the turnout?
Oh, it was wall to wall. It was packed house. They had sold that. They sold the tournament out in 48 hours when they opened up the entries in September.
Not the entries. I'm saying people coming to watch.
Oh, it was crowded. It was crowded all day. I mean, we had to try to. It ran a little late, so trying to get my stuff out of the way for the league bowlers that were coming in, and they were waiting while the fans were watching. Yeah, it was. If it wasn't for my wife being my production assistant, it would have been a little hairy. Just getting out of there, getting around the crowd and stuff. So I think the bar at Sussex Bowl had a very good day on.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Just to show you the interest in this, Sparky, is one of my customers bowled that tournament and brought in a video for me and didn't say anything. He goes, "Here's Kevin McCune." And Kevin McCune was lofting the ball 30 feet down the lane on a fly and striking. And so he didn't say anything, just watch. And what do you think I'm going to say? I'm like, what the, that 30 foot.
I'll tell you right now,
that's how strong that guy is.
If I try to do that, I would go 30 feet with the ball down the lane.
Doing your Machuga flop.
Yeah, I would be down the lane with the ball because there's no way I could loft the ball that far down the lane. But again, when you're a big, strong dude like that guy is,
right?
You could do it, and then to be able to still strike. I mean, it's like he's doing trick shots, and messing around.
He was
his actual
purposely
shot.
doing this, right?
His actual shot.
Yeah, it's just like his dad. His dad always got he's the fireballer. Eugene,
right?
Hard and straight. Eugene can do so many things with the bowling ball, and Kevin's learned from that. And Kevin can already do so many things from so many areas of the lane with the bowling ball. If I'm Belmo in the LAX, the two people I'm protecting, he has to protect himself if he's bowling. The other one I'm protecting out of that roster is McCune.
Yes.
I'm protecting Kevin McCune. Sorry, Butters. Sorry, Stu Williams. Sorry, Thomas Larson. I'll try to get you back in the draft. I'm protecting McCune because of the versatility he's shown at such a young age.
My comment to the customer that showed me that video is what can he not do? When you're lofting the ball 30 feet out into the lane and striking with it, I mean, what can he not do? He can do everything.
But again, it's going to come down to the mental side of things and being able to handle that as we go. Because again, as it becomes more popular, there's going to be more pressure to win.
Absolutely.
There just is. The more TV shows you win and you don't finish, then people like me are going to be like, so what's this dude's deal? He can't close. I mean, that comes with it.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Right?
How long did we say that about EJ until this year? How many times was EJ on TV the last 3 years and couldn't close it out?
I didn't say it at all because we weren't doing the show. But Sean Rash heard a bunch of me for a decade. So I mean that is kind of the deal, right? Like, it's when it's early and they don't know who you are and you're that young cute guy or whatever the case may be. Okay, everybody's gonna kind of lay off and be like, all right, here we go, another young gun. And then you fast forward and you're Jesper Svensson and you're like, oh, well, maybe this didn't turn out as much as I thought it was going to turn out. Because let's be fair about Svensson. When he started, we all thought, this was going to win a bunch. Like, here we go. And they were overplaying his looks, by the way. But either way, so we get to this point, and you look back and you're like, well, that didn't turn out nearly as good as I thought it was going to turn out. Like,
which is funny because he's
Hall of Fame eligible. they call him the Iceman and all that, and that's good. And that's fun. It's marketable, and people know who he is, and that's good for the sport. But I wouldn't look at him and go, yep, that's as successful as I thought it was going to be.
No,
I don't think he's been nearly as successful as we thought he was going to be when he came in.
He's Hall of Fame eligible, but once again, the last
we can talk
years,
about Hall of Fame eligible crap later, whatever.
Well, I'm just saying he was such a fire. I mean, he just came into everybody's picture so quickly and was there, and all of a sudden it's just like boom. It's just like it
turned off.
Better to burn out than fade away, I think Def Leppard said at one point in time. I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
But I'm just saying, I mean, Aaron Rodgers was just on Pat McAfee's show on, what was it, Wednesday, Tuesday? What is today? Thursday? And he was talking about Jordan Love. Yeah. And I think indirectly he was talking about Zach Wilson who's getting crucified in New York. But he was just talking about how, you don't want to crown somebody right off the bat before they've done anything, right? And just like you don't want to crucify somebody right off the bat before they've had a chance to do anything. Yeah. You don't want to do that. And so often in media, we do that. But I feel a lot more comfortable now because this dude's been here for a while to say that didn't work out nearly as well as we thought. Right. And that's why, like we're talking about McEwen here, you just don't know. Like in 5 years, is he going to be that guy or is he going to be another guy on tour that we see on TV once every couple of years? Right. We have no idea. And that's what we have to wait and find out. We'll see this year. If he comes back this year and he wins a tournament this year on TV, then we can go, okay, maybe we got something. Maybe we can build and go from there. So I don't know. I love talking bowling. It's just so fun. I had a sales guy, sales assistant or whatever here yesterday. He goes, hey, Spark, you like bowling? The other salespeople are like, that's a bowling podcast. Yeah, man. Of course. Yeah. I like bowling. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Love bowling. Love talking about bowling. That's another thing, right? So I have 2 dreams, right? Maybe just 2. My first dream is to get 12:50 a.m. The Fan back on doing local sports during the day, right? That's dream number 1. But I've had this other crazy dream for quite some time. Sirius has all these stations. I would love to, at some point, get to a PBA radio station. Like that, NASCAR has a radio station. Yeah. They've got their own. NFL, NBA, fantasy sports has a radio station. College sports has a radio station. I would love to get to the point where the PBA could have their own station on Sirius XM. You're telling me that you don't think some of these bowlers could do successful radio stations based on what they do on YouTube and how funny they are and stuff like that?
Yeah, Brad and Kyle.
Absolutely, they could. Oh, yeah. Rash could do a radio show easy. Yeah. Between all the celebrities he's met over the course of time and all the connections he has, he's got a personality where you're going to love him or you're going to think he's an idiot.
Pete Weber.
But either way, yes. Oh, yes. Pete Weber, swear, do what you want, Pete. Have at it, buddy. Enjoy yourself. Hell yes. Yep. That'd be like one of the highest rated shows probably on Sirius XM if you gave Pete Weber a microphone and said, go get him. Yeah. Oh, my God, yes. You know, you could have the Commissioner's Corner with Tom Clark. Man, please. I'll program it, Tom. Just get it done with Sirius XM. Now, the guy that owns Sirius XM, I don't think likes me. But besides him not liking me, that should still be pretty fun. All right, we're not going to get to the awards part of this because I was gone coughing my head off for a while, and now we're 43 minutes in, so that'll take care of
it's not EJ Tackett for Player of the Year.
Correct.
It's a sham. Yeah. And Rookie of the Year, nobody did a whole hell of a lot, so I almost considered I had a ballot in on that. I almost considered none of the above, but I didn't.
Don't be a jerk.
I didn't. I took Nate Stubler. So
okay.
So good. I think it'll be Cortez Schenk though, but I've seen Nate in person and talk, and just he didn't bowl as much of a schedule as he could. He's trying to bounce around a job. And
I would imagine 98% of the people listening have no idea who either person is that you just mentioned.
That's right.
Just my guess. Yeah, 98% have no idea who the hell those people are.
Right.
No clue. He is Phil Brylow. He has a lot of clues. You can follow him on Twitter at Brew City Bowling, $2 Phil. He is Dwight Albrecht. He's working long, hard days at the Spare Time Pro Shop in New Berlin. So if you want to buy a bowling ball, have them drill it, or need an adjustment with your bowling ball, want to go see Dwight over there in New Berlin Bowl here in Wisconsin. Follow him on Twitter at Dewey300. If you follow him, you can always tweet him, DM him, whatever the case may be, if he follows you back. And none of us, I don't believe, are stupid enough to pay for a blue check mark, so you won't see that either. You can follow me on Twitter at Sparky Radio. Check out the interviews we got up at 12:50 a.m. The Fan. Got one with Ryan Wood, Packers beat writer from this week after they beat the Chiefs. Tim Muma, a Brewer fanatic, talking about the Jackson Chourio signing. Stupid amount of money in a good way for Jackson Chourio before he plays a Major League Baseball game. offseason. Corbin Burns, Willie Adames possibly getting traded. So lots there. Go to 1250amthefan.com. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Toodles.